NFL Week 9. Man, season flying right on by. And as we usually do here on Picks from the DawgHouse NFL edition, we start this show off with Ron the Don Romanelli. What's happening, my man? How you doing this week?
I'm doing good, Jay. I can't complain. I think that this is not the best NFL card from a betting perspective or an entertainment perspective. There's some good games, especially the one involving the Chiefs this week. We'll talk about that, but I'll be treading lightly personally in the NFL.
Fair enough. I hear you. I think it's a solid card. There's a couple of spots I really want to hit hard, but it's not a ton of spots. You know what I mean? I liked last week's card better than I liked this
Right.
week. But I'm gonna be hitting it hard, man. There's a couple of games I really do like. Is one of them Chiefs? The favorite in Buffalo this weekend, man.
Yeah.
You hit the nail right on the head. They got a really tough schedule this year. But they're starting to play well. They're starting to click. Buffalo's kind of seem to have taken a small step back. I'm excited about that game this coming up weekend.
Yeah. I mean, that's the game of the week for sure. These teams have had some classics between them over the last just 5 years. I mean, just unbelievable games. I think we see another one short spread for good reason. I think the Chiefs. I'd say they should be favored. I think the Chiefs have emerged as a favorite in the AFC, but it goes to show you that they're playing great football recently. They look really good. They're favored to win the AFC, and they still have 3 losses on their record already, and with some tough games to go, including this one. So I still feel pretty good about the win total. I do think the Chiefs are almost a shoe-in to make the playoffs at this point. I think that there was value at that, with that bet, but we'll see. I mean, listen, the Chiefs are an injury away, just like any team. Right. To already 3 losses on the schedule on the record. We'll see, but I think this week's game should be a good one.
Now, yeah, I can't wait to sit back and watch this. Josh Allen has had the upper hand in the regular season.
Yeah.
But Patrick Mahomes has got him when it mattered most.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Allen and them not gonna take that lightly, being dogs at home. So
right, yeah,
should be a good one. I can't wait. What we talking about here on this show, though? Where we headed to?
Yeah, we're talking about a lousy game. We got looks like a blowout on our hands with the Saints and the Rams. I got to say, Tyler Shuck, a quarterback that Saints announced he'll be the starter going forward. Personally, you look what he did in college. He had a long college career. I didn't see much, in college to make me think he'll be a successful NFL quarterback long term. And I think this is going to be a tough one for the Saints. I actually think the Saints at times have looked a lot better than their record. I mean, they had the nice win against the Giants. I thought they played competitive football at times before that. But it's just been ugly recently. The offense has not been doing anything. They can't run the football. Their offensive line has really struggled. And with Shuck, a quarterback, I just don't have any faith in the Saints offensively. The defense has been okay against the run. They make some big plays. They can force some turnovers. But the Rams are still an offense in a matchup like this. Should be able to pick their number, be able to score the ball at will, especially with Puka Nacua most likely returning. I just think that the Rams are just too much in this one. I know it's a steep number, but the favorites have been dominating the NFL the last couple of weeks. We've seen some blowouts. I think we see another one. I think we see a 17 to 21 point victory for the Rams. I'll lay the points.
I have really not much more to add. It's rare we're just in full agreement mode, but this is one of those where I think the Rams take them behind the woodshed.
Yeah.
The Saints, I didn't feel like Rattler was the problem.
Me either. He definitely struggled the last couple of weeks, but I wouldn't necessarily pull the plug on that.
Right. You know what I mean? I just felt like the overall roster for the Saints is what's holding them back. And I don't think putting in rookie Tyler Shuck on the road at the Rams looking as good as they've looked is the answer either. So we'll see. I can't get his training camp video out of my head. That's one of the worst videos I've seen. So we'll see if he comes out and looks better.
Yeah. I mean, I guarantee you, I know Mitch would always talk about Ian Book with the Saints and how does he have a job in the NFL and stuff. I kind of feel that same way with Tyler Shuck. I mean, I just didn't see much in college. He bounced around, with Louisville the most recent year, okay numbers on paper. The thing is, the numbers on paper weren't bad, but you watch him play. I mean, I just don't think it's going to translate to the NFL, at least consistently.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. We'll see what happens. this coming up week in the NFL. I know where to find your favorite plays, and that's over at Pick Dawgz Premium. What you got going on this weekend?
Yeah, like I said, I'll be treading lightly for the NFL card on Sunday, but we got college basketball returning on Monday. Super excited. Had a great year in college hoops last year. Looking to replicate that. If you're looking for a long-term plan for that, you've got my NBA and college basketball dual season pass. It's going to get you every single premium selection I release in both sports, regular season and postseason. Always the best bet there. We're going to have a ton of plays. I already had a lot of plays in the NBA, but college hoops, we're talking about hundreds of plays by the end of the year. So check it out at Pick Dawgz Premium.
Hop on with Ron the Don Romanelli, ladies and gentlemen. Continue to kick the crap out of the books. His numbers speak for themselves. Ron, I appreciate you coming on the show, my man. We'll see you throughout the week. It's Friday, so I got to say something.
Uh-oh. We'll see. I mean, by the time this video is relevant or maybe even posted, the series will probably be over. Yeah. So hopefully there's good news for me if I watch this video back and the Dodgers win the World Series.
No. We'll see what happens tonight, though. Game 6 tonight, man. Should be fun. Appreciate you, Ron.
All righty, Jay.
And we keep it rolling here on the NFL show. And I got one of the best in the industry with me, Big Al McMordie. Al, what's happening? How you doing this week, my man?
Doing well. Exciting time of year. We've got, on Monday, 104 or something like that, college basketball games on the board. So it's here. Everything's in full force right now. So how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Like you said, I'm glad to have all the sports back. Just means there's more spots to really attack the books. They can't be as sharp everywhere.
I might as well say something now before the streak ends, because the next time we visit, they may have lost a game. But San Antonio, 5-0. What's going on, man?
Your Spurs, they balling. I got to give them some credit. Wemby is a early MVP candidate. He's balling. It's still early.
Supposedly, Wemby, like someone put something on Twitter. I don't know if it's true, but supposedly Wemby said after they got the 5th win against Miami, he said something to the effect of, 77 to go. Man, kind of got to like that attitude,
Yeah, you do. I'm glad to have the NBA back, especially just to mix in right with everything we got going on right now. College football in full force. NFL, it's crazy to say we're in week 9 already. So we're past the halfway point in the NFL.
The NFL is interesting this year because of all the parity. I mean, there's not one team that you can say that team's going to definitely make the Super Bowl. I mean, we haven't seen this level of parity for a while.
Nope. The circle of parity was already complete, I believe. Was it last week or the week before? Basically, that just means where I beat you, you beat them, and it's a complete circle. It got completed with the Jets beating the Cincinnati Bengals. That's when it got completed. The circle of parity, and that's one of the earliest it's been ever in NFL history. But yeah, it's cool, man. It's been a fun NFL season, and it's a pretty tough card this week. But there's some spots to attack. There's some spots I really like, and I'm ready to break down a couple games with you right here, right now. Where are we headed to first?
Oh, let's go. Let's look at the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a win situation game, and when handicappers call a game a win situation game, that means the point spread's 3 or less. So, if you win the game, you're probably going to cover. The Raiders have done really well in these types of games at home. 13-2 ATS their last 15. So they haven't been a good team over this period at all. But when they're at home in a win situation game, they come to play and they win. That's reason enough for me to lay or to take the 2.5 with the Raiders at home versus Jacksonville.
I'm in agreement with you here. I like the Raiders this coming up week. For me, it's a do or die week for the Raiders. It's been a underwhelming season for them. You bring in Pete Carroll, you bring in a veteran quarterback like Geno Smith, you're expecting to have better results than they've had thus far this season. So now coming off of the bye season, pretty much right here, man, they gotta come out and play well. So I think this is a do or die game for them at home. Jacksonville has kind of played above its pay grade a bit. They're coming a little banged up into this game. we'll see if the Raiders are able to galvanize the troops and pull one off, or if this is the sell week on everything Las Vegas. But I feel like you called it a win situation for a different situation, but I think it is a win situation for the Raiders. So we'll see what happens. All right, where are we headed to next, my man?
Steel City, Pittsburgh.
Okay.
The Colts are arguably the best team in football right now. We talked about there being parity, but if one team's played, as well or better than anyone, it's Indianapolis. They've won 4 straight, including back-to-back blowouts over the Chargers. And then, of course, the Titans. Everyone beats the Titans. But, you can't take anything away from Indianapolis. They won that game by 24 points. They covered the spread in those last 2 games by 16.5 and by 8.5. But unfortunately, when you get a road favorite that's off back-to-back covers by 5 or more points, those teams don't do very well if they have a winning record and if their opponent is not off a straight-up win, which Pittsburgh is, and it lost to Green Bay last week. You put these road favorites off those 2 big wins. They've gone now 83 and 128 ATS. Indianapolis has been arguably the best team. This is not the time to take Indianapolis. I'm going to take Pittsburgh.
I agree with, again, pretty much everything you said. I have been pretty much one of the vocal leaders on how much I believe in the Colts this year. I said it before the season started. I thought they would be in this very position they are. But I think this is a really good sell high point. I think this is a good sell high point on the Colts and the Steelers. I think they're feeling that pressure. The Ravens are now favorites to win the division, even though the Steelers are in a good spot coming off of a tough Monday night loss. I think the Steelers look good here. Me and you, we've talked NFL over the last 3 seasons, so I love me some Coach Tomlin. And this just feels like one of those Coach Tomlin spots that I've told you about over the past couple seasons, where it's like a little overreaction spot. Everybody's saying the sky is falling, and then you realize why he hasn't had a losing season as a head coach.
Right.
He's pretty good in these type of spots. So I'm gonna take the Steelers at home. See what happens. I think this is gonna be a good game, though.
Yeah, no, it's probably, it should be a hell of a game.
Yes, sir. That Chiefs Bills is going to be that's the game I'm most excited for this weekend.
Yeah, what do you think about that game if you want to talk about a third game?
Chiefs on me, Chiefs on 3. 1, 2, 3, Chiefs. Like, that's kind of my thoughts on it. The Bills, they've looked a little underwhelming in spots, and I worry about their defense. Like, Kansas City, to me, is the most complete team in the NFL. I trust them defensively. I love what Spags has going on, and then I will never, ever, ever doubt Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Yeah. And then the line, they're favored in Buffalo. It's Chiefs for me in that one. You got any thoughts on it?
I'm still looking at it. That's why I was kind of asking you. I think I would lean to the over in the game.
Yeah. Okay. I can see some points for sure. It's usually a battle when those two match up. Allen has the advantage in the regular season, and then Mahomes usually gets him in the postseason. We'll see what happens. I can't wait to watch it. Should be a ton of fun. Man, Al, money-making weekend on the horizon. What you got going on at Pick Dawgz Premium?
Well, I'm still working through the NFL card, but there is one game that will definitely make the card. Probably be my NFL game of the month. Still don't really, haven't settled on everything else yet. I've been so busy with NBA and college football, but yeah, I'll have some football posted, but not fully, certain how many games yet.
Yes, sir. He'll be locked and loaded, man. Hop on with Al. We're recording this on Friday, so y'all can hop on a long-term pass and get everything he got going on over the weekend. Appreciate you joining us, Al, man. We'll see you throughout the week here on the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel, and appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, Jay. Talk to you later.
Peace. And we keep it rolling on the NFL show, and I got Jeremy with me. Jeremy, what's happening? How you doing?
What's up, man? It's been a good week. I'm doing well and looking forward to a bunch of great games today. We all know We all want to wait around till 4:00 and watch that game between the Chiefs and Bills. And I think the nightcap's going to be good with Washington and Seattle, but I have a couple other games that I think are going to be fun and great bets.
Yes, sir. Solid week of NFL action coming up. We're just getting more and more information, learning who teams are. I think last week was a kind of a correction week. This week, we got a couple of teams coming back from the dead. We got a couple of teams coming off of bye. I think last week was the most teams that'll be on bye all season. So we got a good amount of teams coming off bye this week. It's a solid week of NFL action. We're ready to break down a couple. Where we headed to first?
We're going to go to New England first as they host the Atlanta Falcons. And there's a couple things like this is actually one of the more, I don't want to say normal, but realistic games that we have here, because in a lot of situations this week, we're seeing teams that we think are better going on the road and facing a team that's inferior. And then we see those 3-point, 2.5-point spreads. And it's like, do I want to take the better team or the worst team in a good spot? This is an interesting one to me because I know everybody's buying into what the Patriots have done. I think Drake May has been fantastic. He's a guy that I wasn't thrilled with coming out of college, saying, I'm not sure what he's going to be. That 1-year success rate, we've seen other guys do it and fail, but I think he has the best deep ball in football right now, or at least the most accurate. But with that being said, I don't believe you are what we just saw. And I think that's what the public does a lot. Atlanta lost 30-0 to the Dolphins, who suck ass. How does that happen? I have no idea. Drake London back this week, Michael Penix Jr. back. Not that I don't care about Michael Penix Jr. I do think getting a star wide receiver back and having another option in the pass game who he likes to throw to is going to be good. But I also like the fact that Bijan Robinson had a down week last week. So I like Atlanta to win this game outright and pull off an upset. But I also think that 5.5-point spread, I'm going to take it because honestly, I think this is a field goal game either way, even if the Patriots end up pulling this out. But give me the Falcons plus the points.
Fair. I'm not mad at that take. I think the Patriots are the better team. I think they've benefited from an extremely light schedule, and their record kind of has them slightly overrated, slightly overvalued. I'm not rushing to lay this many points with New England whatsoever. Again, I do think they're the better team. Atlanta, they're just not a fun bet, and they're just not a fun bet at all.
They disappoint all the time.
All the time. And while there's a scenario where I could see them, like you said, coming in here and winning this game outright, I also seen them lose 30-0 to the Panthers this year. So
yeah, they've had some bad games.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens here in this one. I would lean towards an over, though. I do think we see some points here. I think it's going to be a fun game. I think Drake May finds Diggs, and like you said, Bijan probably has a solid bounce back game. What I like best in this game is an over from a side perspective.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a tough button to click for a lot of people, and I'm sure. Look, the public's going to be all over the Patriots when you see Atlanta and how they performed in a couple of these games. It's going to make you not want to back them. But I can't get past two, and I didn't buy into them being the best pass defense in football. So let me just predicate that with that. I do think their defense is way better than people want to give them credit. Watching them against, we'll see, because it's not like it's a who's who of questionable receivers there that I think are better than what most people think, like Booty, and then you throw in Stephon Diggs, even Hunter Henry, because we know New England likes to use the tight ends, but they've got a nice little group of it looks like the old wide receiving core that Brady had, right? Smaller receivers, guys that you can go to, you trust, putting them in situations, and they got a bunch of deep threats. And when you have the best deep ball thrower in the league, a lot of things can happen. But I've seen the Patriots play a lot of close games, and I think what people are doing is that they're hanging their hat on that Buffalo win. It's a great win. Don't get me wrong. It's still a divisional win. I don't put as much stock into it, but I'm not dismissing it. I just need to see more from them.
That's fair. We'll see what happens in this one this week. Where are we headed to next?
Going to New York. Well, I guess technically New Jersey, right? Isn't that where we're – the only team that plays in New York is Buffalo. The other two play in New Jersey. And it's funny, I got to admit this, as I wrote it down, I wrote down San Francisco Giants, and then I scratched it out saying, you idiot, it's not baseball. And then I realized, well, it is San Francisco versus the Giants, so I did have it right the first time. I think I'm seeing something in this game that most people aren't going to look at, and it's the total. I do think the Giants are a live home dog. I watched San Francisco make Houston's offense look decent. And Houston last week was throwing to 2 wide receivers out of Iowa State. And there was a who's who of nobodies that he was passing to, and they just manhandled San Francisco. I love Christian McCaffrey over rushing yards in this game. I think he has a big game, but he's been one of the best backs in football, period. So I don't think people are worried about that. But when I watch San Francisco's defense, man, it reminded me of the Ravens defense a little bit at the beginning of the year where you're like, that guy's wide open. Well, then that guy's wide open too. So is that like there are so many people running free. And I know it's not a great wide receiving core. And when you look at loss of Cam, the loss of Malik Neighbors, yeah, that's going to hurt. But I think both of these teams put up points. I think this has a chance to be the highest scoring game on the day. There's 2 other games that look really good, but I think this is going to be in the conversation. I love it to go over the 47.5.
Over the total, says Jeremy. Oof.
Doesn't that number look high?
It does look high for these 2 teams. Giants missing all the weapons they're missing. Even the Giants. I mean, the let's see, you got me doing it. The Niners missing the people they're missing as well. It wouldn't shock me though. It wouldn't shock me.
You like either side here?
I would lean Niners. It's a lean at best. It won't make my premium card this weekend. This won't be one of those.
Yeah, back-to-back road games for San Francisco, now headed across the time zones to play in, New Jersey. And I know the Giants don't look great. I think they get a really tired team. But I even think with a tired team, Christian McCaffrey and that offense can go off. Brock Purdy's questionable. I'm not expecting him, but if he plays, I think it is a bump to the offense. But to be honest, I think Brock Purdy's really good. I just think he's slightly better than some of the other guys that are average. Like we see Mac Jones, Sam Darnold, some of these guys. I think they're all fine. That's how I feel about Brock Purdy. He's played way better than that, and I think a lot of that's Kyle Shanahan setting him up.
Yeah. We'll see what happens in this one. This could be the game that gets Daboll fired. This could be the game that gives him another year, you know? So it's just a weird one. Doesn't jump out the page to me, though.
I think that's what I always pick is the weird ones.
Yeah, you love the weird ones, but you've been cashing them.
Yeah. It's been a good week.
Yes, sir.
It's been a really good week, man. And, looking at some of the things that have gone on, I'm going to miss seeing baseball every night. I was saying to somebody else, can we play best of 13? Because this has been the best baseball playoffs from a viewership. Not having a rooting interest, not having my team in there. I clearly don't want Toronto to win. And I clearly don't want the Dodgers to win. Either way, I'm going to be happy and disappointed at the same time. Yeah, but when you're in the AL East, you know it. You don't want anybody in the AL West to win. You don't want to see Houston. Well, I don't know how you feel about Houston. You probably hate them, but it's tough, man. It's tough to look up there because now we already have Red Sox fans that want to tell you how great they are, and they invented losing. They just happen to get good for a period of time. They had 100 years of losing, and then they're the ones that talk the biggest trash whenever you go out to a game. And we got Yankee fans. Come on, man. I can't root Canadians. No, sorry, Chris.
Man, tough division y'all in. We'll see what happens. We were recording this on Friday, so the Jays could close it out tonight. We'll see what happens. Jeremy, man, I know where to find your favorite plays. Like we just said, you're doing well right now over at Pick Dawgz Premium. What you got going on this weekend?
Yeah, check me out. I got a ton up from college football and pro. I usually try to get my stuff up Wednesday and Thursday, but there's a lot that I like this weekend. A ton in college football. I know people want to bet the big matchups and all that, but sometimes you find value elsewhere. I think I have a couple of ugly games that are going to pan out for us. And honestly, with all these favorites hitting, it's Halloween weekend. Something weird's happening this weekend, whether it's a double-digit favorite that's going down in the NFL, or we see some of these 3-point underdogs, 2.5-point underdogs pull off these minor upsets. But there's a lot of spots like that. I feel like I have a good 5-pack up. I always tell people I would use the 3-pack or the 3-day pass and just purchase all of it and get the picks if you're going to do that. But if you want to buy some singles, whatever it is, there's plenty of plays up there, and I have them up early. It's been a good week and looking to build on it. I'm still doing well in the NFL, hitting it like 58%, but I want to bring that up some.
Going with Jeremy, man. Jeremy, we appreciate you joining us this week. We'll see you throughout the week on the Lowdown, on the morning shows, on the college football show. Appreciate you, my man.
Absolutely, man. Good luck this weekend.
You too. And we keep it rolling here on the NFL show. I got Ashley here with me. Ashley, what's happening? How you doing this week?
What's going on, Jay? Doing pretty well. Looking forward to our action on Sunday. I got cashed in on Thursday with the Ravens, and I'm on a little bit of a hot streak right now, 15-7 overall for my last 22 premium plays. We're recording this Friday, so we'll see how Saturday goes. But assuming all goes well on Saturday, hoping to carry this hot streak into today.
Keep it rolling, keep it rolling, keep it rolling. And this is there's a couple of really good games on this card, and then there's some
stinkers.
For sure. But other than that, man, I got a couple plays I'm attacking hard this weekend, and I know you do as well. What are we talking about here for the show, though, this week?
Yeah, first we're going to throw it over to Green Bay, talk Panthers and Packers here. Pretty big spread. I think it's the biggest spread of the week, I want to say. Probably not surprising, man. Andy Dalton looked so bad last week. I had some hope that the Red Rocket would be serviceable, but he did not look good. And I do think we're going to see Bryce Young back this week. Like I said, we are recording this a little bit early, so I don't think it's fully confirmed, but it does seem like Bryce Young will be back. That said, though, I do think it's kind of a tough spot for the Panthers. I know it's a big spread, but Panthers, for one, they've not been good on the road this season, but their O-line is actually pretty beat up right now. I think in the last game, they lost their right guard for the season, and then their center and their right tackle haven't been practicing much this week. So assuming Bryce Young plays, that's probably going to be bad news for him, especially when you have Micah Parsons on the other side coming at you. But then that also is going to affect the backfield. You know, Dowdle and Hubbard only had 88 combined yards last week on the ground. So if they continue on that downward trend, I think the Panthers will probably have some hard times getting points on the board here. Packers playing good football right now. I know it's a big spread, but we've seen what happened to the Panthers when they've played good teams this year, right? Like they've gotten some wins against some mediocre to poor teams, but in their two games against the Pats and the Bills, they've been outscored 82-22. So, you know, I was a Panthers believer there for a hot second, and I do think they can get some scrappy wins the remainder of the season, but I don't think this game's going to be it for them. So I will be laying the points here with the Pack.
This is a tough game for me as of right now. I'm still high on the Panthers. I knew not to touch Andy Dalton trash ass last week. There's a chance he may be under center again this week. I was kind of reading up on this game earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The head coach for Carolina hasn't really said who's going to be starting.
Yeah.
It seems like Bryce is back healthy, but
why rush it in this spot?
Yeah, that may be the case, but in that same breath, did Coach watch Andy Dalton last week? You can't put him
They were chalking it up to a loss anyways.
Man,
I don't know. It was ugly. I might have fallen into that Andy Dalton trap last week.
If Bryce is under center here in this one and I'm getting a premium number like this, I might have to take the Panthers. But if it's Andy Dalton, I'm 100% with you. I'm laying.
I don't know. That O-line, I mean, we've seen what can happen when the O-line's beat up. You know, we've seen it all year long with a variety of teams. That's just bad news on the road.
Yeah.
Packers defense, I don't know. I don't trust Carolina here whatsoever.
That's fair.
And I think this opened up at around 15, 14. So I think 12.5 is a pretty good steal at this rate.
And it's the second biggest spread of the week. There's one bigger. The biggest one is Rams on the Saints.
Yep.
Tyler Shuck making his debut. All right. Where are we headed to next?
Next, we're going to throw it over to New England. We're talking Falcons and Patriots on this one. Talk about backups that looked terrible last week. Kirk Cousins did not look worth $180 million. That's for sure. Kirk Cousins had a really tough week. And again, I don't think it's entirely clear on if Cousins or Penix Jr. is playing this week or not. But either way it rolls, I am going to be on the Patriots here. I think New England has been severely undervalued all year long. In the last 5 games, they've covered the last 5 and they've been blowing them out. They've been in those 5 games, they've covered by a 59-point differential. So they're just blowing these lines out the water. I think everyone's talking about Drake May. He's obviously been great, 75% completion percentage on the year, 15 touchdowns, only 2 or 3 interceptions. So he's taking care of the ball. But we're also not really talking about New England's defense. Their secondary is a little shaky, but they're so good against the run. And I think if they can contain Bijan this week, then I think they're going to cruise to victory here. Again, I feel like this line's just light for this Patriots team that's just been lighting it up. And this Falcons team, they can be good at times, but they've also laid some eggs. So, especially with just Penix might not play, could be beat up, not going to be 100%. I think the Patriots aren't getting enough respect here, so I will be laying the points here with New England.
I think it's another super tough game. I like the over in this one. I think we will see some points here. Here's my thought process on the game. I don't think the Patriots are 5.5 points better than Atlanta. I think the Patriots are slightly overrated and overvalued because of their schedule, because of their record. They've been beneficial to play a light schedule. But in that same breath, I don't trust the Falcons in this spot whatsoever. So it wouldn't shock me at all if the Patriots won this game by a touchdown plus. Forced to play the side, I would agree with you. It would be New England. Mike Vrabel has this team playing at a really high level. This is probably one of the better teams he's had as a coach, and I just like him as a coach. He's one of my favorite coaches in the league. I think there's a coaching mismatch in this game. Raheem Morris, I don't know. I'm not sold on him. He hasn't done anything that has jumped off the page to me since becoming the head coach of Atlanta. And
I just don't know what to make of this Falcons team, right? Like they beat the Vikings, they beat the Bills, but then they lost to the Dolphins. They lost to the Panthers, got shut out by the Panthers, and they lost to like a beat up Niners team. So they've got some good wins, but they have some horrible losses. I really don't trust them. You know,
if you let the Panthers blow you out 30-0, then the Patriots could do the same, like, you know, if everything breaks the right way. So that's what I'm saying. It would be a lean towards the Patriots with you, but I like the over.
Yeah, I'd take the over too, for sure.
We'll see what happens this week. I know where to find your favorite plays, and that's over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Solid week of action coming up this weekend, and you've been hot. What you got going on?
Yeah, so you guys can grab my NFL best bet of the day as well as a 3-pack if you want a little bit more action. And then, of course, as always, I have my longer-term packages available. So if you want to lock in for a whole week, a month, or even a year, or just the rest of the season, if you want to take yourself through the Super Bowl, you can grab all of those available. And as always, make sure you get the most bang for your buck. So use the code PICK for 15% off.
Ashley, appreciate you joining us. We'll see you on Ashley's Edge throughout the week, the college football show, and all the other content that you help produce and put out here at Pick Dawgz.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you. And we keep it rolling here on the NFL show. And I got Brian Bitler wins. That's exactly what he does, man. What's happening, Brian? How you doing?
I'll tell you what, up and down lately, but the month of October definitely good to me. But I want to see what's in store in November. We got a nice card of NFL football for sure from a betting standpoint. I definitely think there's some opportunities to make some big bucks this week.
I do too. I think this college football card is a good one. You know, it's not the card we thought it was going to be at the beginning of the year, but still got some really quality matchups, and I'm ready to break it down. Make some money this weekend. Where we headed to first?
Well, I'm going to look at a game that probably should be a premium pick for me, but I just want to share it with everybody here. I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts here. Now, I'm going to have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers at home to make sure you also shop around. It's always good to have more than one sports book so you can get that best line. It's optimal to get 3.5 on this game, but you know, there's nothing wrong with taking the +3 with no juice. Steelers at home getting points, never a bad situation to be in. Lots of these Steeler fanboys really jumped off that bandwagon after that Sunday Night Football debacle against the Green Bay Packers. And I think the Colts now are the new public favorite team. Week in, week out lately. You know, at the beginning of the year, people didn't like the Colts. And that's when we played them. But now I think you jump off them. They're 6-2 ATS. They've won 4 straight. Steelers, losers of 2 straights, both non-covers. I just see this as being less than a 3-point win here for either team. And with that being said, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers plus the points and sprinkle a little bit on the money line because it wouldn't shock me if they pulled the upset.
I'm right there with you. Pretty much everything you said. I like the Steelers this week. And everybody knows the Colts are my swag team. I'm the president of the Colts fan club this year.
Yeah,
I'm the same guy that came on and said they will be the 1 seed, this team. Daniel Jones will have the Sam Darnold year from last year. Like, I've been all Colts. But I think this is a really good sell high point on Indy, like you said, and a good buy low spot here on Pittsburgh. The Ravens, everybody saw them beat up on the Dolphins on Thursday night. They're favored the Ravens are still favored to win the division over the Steelers.
So Steelers have that heat on their ass. They got to win. Colts a little bit of breathing room, as they're definitely the best team in their division.
Yep. And I think the Steelers. I love one thing about it is the Steelers are one of those teams when they have expectations, when you think they're going to do something, they almost never win by margin. But just when you get ready to count them out is when they usually play. That's one thing I love about Coach Tomlin.
Yep.
You can never get too high or too low on the Steelers. And I think if there was one week where Daniel Jones looked like the old Daniel Jones we used to, fade, it would be this one on the road at Pittsburgh. I could see this defense having one of their better weeks of the year and pulling off, like you said, a home win. I like the 3, but I also want to sprinkle on the money line as well.
Sounds good.
We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I know where to find your favorite place, and that's over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Your numbers speak for yourself, man. For themselves. What you got going on this weekend?
Well, I'm eyeing up a couple games, but one's definitely going to be my titanium best bet winner right now. 29-12, 71% run on that titanium.
And we keep it rolling here on the NFL show. I got Brad Wins Bets with me. Brad, what's happening? How you doing?
What's going on, Jay? Doing well. I'm excited for this NFL slate. Been cashing in so far this NFL season, so I'm ready to keep it going.
Let's keep it rolling, my man. Where we headed to this week on the show?
We're headed to Lambeau Field. We got the Carolina Panthers and the Packers going at it. Packers, 4 straight overs in a row, I believe? Yeah, we're going to fade that. We're going to take an under here. I love the under in this game. Starting off with the Panthers, we all know this Panthers team can't play on the road. They've been horrendous on the road this season. Now they're going into Lambeau. Let me check the weather. Is it going to be a little bit chilly there? Yeah, 45 degrees. Not too bad. But like I said, Carolina on the road, this team cannot be trusted. I don't think they have much success at all against this Packers defense. I think Bryce Young and this Carolina offense is going to struggle greatly in this game. And then it's really going to come down to the Packers to score the ball if this thing's going to go over. And this is just a sleepy spot for the Packers. I mean, the Packers last week, you play at Pittsburgh, primetime game. All the eyeballs were on you. They had the Aaron Rodgers factor. They wanted to be him. So you got that game. And then next week, they got Philadelphia at home. And then that puts us in this weird middle game against the Carolina Panthers. I know damn well the Packers aren't scheming up anything crazy on the offensive side of the ball. I think this is a game to get up early, and then they just run the ball with Josh Jacobs, burn clock, and start looking forward to the next week. So I just think this is going to be a gross game, a bad game, a sleepy game. And for all those reasons, I think the under is a good play here.
I don't disagree with you. I kind of like the under in this game as well. I would lean towards the Panthers. The reason why I can't just outright take the Panthers is because we still don't know who's starting for the Panthers, whether it's Andy Dalton or Bryce Young. Green Bay's defense could use a good game. And, I think Carolina, like you said, that we've seen them struggle on the road. So whether it's Bryce or Dalton, I don't expect them to light up the scoreboard. But if it's Bryce, I like the Panthers plus the points. If it's Dalton, lay that shit with the Packers. Andy Dalton looked so bad last week. It wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
And so that's what's hanging me up in this game right now currently. And the news is up in the air. We're recording this on Friday. So the news is still up in the air whether Bryce is in or out. Regardless, I agree with you. I like the under. I think this will be a bounce back week for the Packers defense coming back home. And kind of a sleepy spot for the Packers. I don't know if they just light up the scoreboard this week either.
Yeah, that's what I'm on too. I feel like I do lean the Panthers as well, especially if it is going to be a lower scoring game. You're going to give me 12.5 in that type of ball game. Can't be mad at that.
Can't. Fair enough, man. I know where to find your favorite plays, and those are over at Pick Dawgz Premium. What you got going on this weekend?
Yes, sir. Check them out at Pick Dawgz Premium. If you're watching this, or no, you're probably watching this on Saturday, but NFL, we've been crushing it. We went 2-0-1 last Sunday. The Sunday before that, 3-0, and the Sunday before that, 3-0 again. So Sundays have been very profitable for me this NFL season, especially as of late. So $25 play of the day, as always. If you want one play, you could get my best play over at Pick Dawgz Premium. And then I'll probably have three to five plays for Sunday's NFL slate. So if you want all my plays, you could go that route. Team me up with Jay, hop on something long-term. Got all the options on there for you. Let's make some money this weekend.
Let's Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Brad, appreciate you joining us this week. We'll see you throughout the week on everything you do here at Pick Dawgz. And, of course, check out Brad's breakdown as he covers every NFL game by himself, man. I'll let you guys know his thoughts and opinions on them on the card.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Jay.
Appreciate you. See you soon.